Hello and welcome to the Modesta Mahiga 360 Leadership Podcast, where you get your insights, strategies, and tools to lead with confidence. I am your host, Modesta Mahiga, who is thrilled to connect with you today on one of my favorite topics and experiences: how to fail successfully. You heard right. I have come to accept, appreciate, embrace, and leverage failure for success and want to help you to do the same. Please subscribe and share this episode because I believe it's going to set many leaders free. To fail successfully, you need to accept, appreciate, embrace, and leverage failure for success. What does this mean? Let's take each of these in turn. Number one, accept. What do you need to accept? Three things. One, accept that it's in our nature to succeed through failure. You've been successfully failing from the beginning. Think of how many things you tried and failed as a baby before you could do them successfully. Lifting your head, rolling, sitting, crawling, walking, you're all over the place. Number two, accept you will fail many times before you succeed. I love the quote that says, "The master has failed more times than the beginner has even tried." How do you think people get to the title of guru or GOAT, the greatest of all time? It's not because they're in the class of those that were never defeated. Rather, it's because they were in the class of those that, despite repeated defeat, kept getting up to hone their skill. And number three, accept you need to fail to succeed. It is in failing that we see what went wrong so we can know where to focus on improvement. John C. Maxwell calls this failing forward. You fall, see what tripped you, re-strategize how to approach the obstacle, and keep at it until you achieve your desired result. Perhaps if we defined it differently, it would lose its power to paralyze us. Like, rather than defeat, let's see failure as feedback. Thomas Edison is famously quoted as saying, "I have not failed. I just found 1,000 ways that won't work." And we're glad he kept at it because today we have the light bulb. Bing! The second thing you need to fail successfully is to appreciate failure, or what we're now going to call feedback. Think about it. Without failure, feedback, we would not know how well we're doing. Without the GPS lady telling you you've taken a wrong turn, you keep heading in that direction and never reach your destination. Without feedback at work, you could continue messing things up until the day you get fired. The opposite is also true. Without feedback, you could agonize over what you're doing wrong and withdraw, for instance, from business when you were on the right track all along. Learn to appreciate failure as feedback for what's working and what's not, so you can recalculate, recalibrate, and relaunch even stronger. Monitoring, pivoting, and evaluating over and over again until you achieve your goals. Number three, embrace. Now that you accept and appreciate it is human nature to fail so you can improve in your journey to success, you can actually look forward to failure because you want the feedback you need to master a skill, perfect a product, or become a more effective leader. This mindset of embracing failure is a growth mindset that opens your mind, opens your brain to look for and find solutions rather than shut down believing you're incapable of doing that. The book Switch: How to Change Things When Change is Hard by Chip and Dan Heath is a book I often cite. It has case studies of people who achieve great feats of change and transformation in situations or time frames others would not have deemed feasible. One of the case studies is about an engineering team, at least I think it was an engineering team, whose manager factored in failure as part of the process to give his team the permission to think outside the box, to innovate creative solutions without the fear of failure, which often restricts people to thinking small to play it safe. Zappos is another company which has a phenomenal work culture. Zappos actually recognizes and rewards individuals and teams that fail. They get money, they get events and activities and trips when they fail. They are dared to keep trying, and they are dared to fail because, of course, then they fail forward. Dan Gable said, if you're afraid to fail, you'll never succeed. So, my friend, embrace failure as part of the process of learning, of growing, and ultimately of succeeding. Number 4, leverage. Don't stop at accepting, appreciating, and embracing failure. Leverage failure. Leveraging failure is the ultimate level of success. Wait, I really need to go back on that. We often think, okay, failure is part of the process and then we succeed. But actually, the mindset of being able to leverage failure, that in itself is a successful mindset. The fact that you keep getting back up, the fact that you keep being open and not shutting down when things don't go your way, when things do not, when the process is hard, or when things don't result in the very picture perfect thing that you wanted, that mindset, that tenacity, that grit, that in itself is a key ingredient for success. As a matter of fact, I would say that gives you more than 70% of success. Just having that mindset and having the gumption, the audacity to not only accept, appreciate, and embrace failure, the audacity to then use failure, to leverage failure, that is the ultimate level of success. So, how do you leverage failure? All right, let me be real with you. Falling once doesn't mean you're not cut out for something. Because some people will try something once, they're like, oh my goodness, I had a bad experience, never again. There are many reasons why something may not work the first time you try it. Actually, neither does falling twice or even 7 times mean that you're not cut out for it. But before we talk about how to leverage failure, I'm going to ask you to dig deep and be honest with yourself about whether you have the motivation, ability, and support system to continue to pursue whatever it is you're currently struggling with, whatever it is that you find yourself failing at. So I'm going to ask you to evaluate yourself and answer just 5 simple questions. Number 1, why do you want to pursue this course of action? Why do you want to do the thing that you're doing, the thing that you're failing at? Do you have a strong enough why to keep going at it? Number 2, what will it cost you if you do not continue? What is the cost of staying the same? What is the cost of staying at this level? What is the cost of not achieving this thing to you or to others that depend on you? Number 3, what will you and others that you want to impact gain if you do achieve it? If you do continue through failure after failure? What did Churchill said? He said, uh, success is going from failure to failure without loss of enthusiasm, right? That's what Winston Churchill said. So, what do you stand to gain to keep going until you see the results that you want? And what will others stand to gain? That's number 3. Number 4, how important is it that you achieve success in this area? How important is it to you that you achieve success in this area? Number 5, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being, oh, the least, not at all, and 10 being absolutely, the greatest score. How willing are you to sacrifice A, time, B, money, C, mental, emotional, and physical energy, D, comfort, and E, reputation to achieve it? This question is checking whether you can put your mouth, what did I say? Put your mouth the other way. You can put your money where your mouth is, right? Like when the rubber hits the road, when you're in the intensity of the moment, when you've made the investment, when you've put out the ad, when you have started the project, when you've hired the people, when you have volunteered, when you have quit your job, when you have started the business, whatever decision you've made it. How willing are you to make the sacrifice it will take for you to see it through? It'll take time, it'll take money, it'll take mental, emotional, physical, spiritual energy. It'll take your comfort, your lifestyle, your reputation, your relationships. On a scale of 1 to 10, how ready are you to keep at it? And the reason I've asked you these 5 questions because then and only then can you talk about leveraging failure for success. When you know that you have the motivation, when you know your why, when you know you have a vision of what it'll look like when you've achieved it, when you've seen the transformation and you've seen the impact, when that is greater to you, when that speaks louder, when that is stronger to you than failure, you're going to keep at it. And you're going to be ready to leverage failure to succeed. So if, although nervous, you still want to keep at it, here's how to leverage failure for success. Number 1, identify what only you can do and invest in refining that competence. Of all the things that you were trying to do and you failed at, can you identify what requires you personally and only you so that you can make sure that you do show up and you do deliver? Number 2, identify what you need help with and invest in getting others help with that area. What have you been doing and failing at that you actually have no business doing, that somebody else will be better off doing? Right? Identify those areas and then outsource them. That is an amazing way to leverage failure for success. When you know what's not for you to do, it still has to be done, yes, but it's not for you to do. And you're ready to invest to outsource it. And number 3, forget people and please don't overthink it. Get up and back in the ring as soon as possible. Even if you do it messy, you will refine on the go. This will train your mind to fail forward. It'll train your mind to short circuit the negative emotions associated with the fall and fast track your learning for improvement so that you can get better quicker with each repetition. Remember, we learn and get better through failing. It is absolutely critical feedback. We need to know what to focus on and what to get help with. Learn to accept, appreciate, embrace, and leverage failure. That's how you fail successfully. Let me know what you thought of this episode in the comments. Remember to subscribe, turn on notifications, and share this episode in your groups. Someone who was giving up will be grateful that you did. If you need one-on-one coaching to get unstuck and back on track, click the link below to book a consultation. And if you're an entrepreneur whose business is failing, or you just feel like you are failing, join us for the Small Biz Recharge Workshop on June 28th to 30th, where our seasoned business experts, including myself, will help you develop the clarity, capability, and competitive positioning to build a profitable business. Register on the early bird fee today only through the link below. Until next time, remember, you can only lead others as well as you lead yourself. Continue to connect with us on the Modesta Mahiga 360 Leadership Podcast for insights, strategies, and tools to lead yourself, others, your organization, and industry with confidence. See you next time.